All right, we are back for video number 3, and this is the most exciting video that I have been waiting to share with you. I have had so many people say, do this video. They have requested this video, okay? And I will definitely provide some pictures so you know I'm not telling a story, okay, about how we are gonna go to Vegas for super cheap. And I say we are going to go because we have a trip planned in May. And I sure do hope you follow along for that because it is going to be so much fabulous fun, okay? But this is video 3 in a 3-part series. Don't forget to check out the other 2, okay? You're going to love that content if you're wanting to know more about MGM rewards and things like that. We are not MGM affiliated. I'm simply an MGM patron, but we do love going to our local, which is Biloxi Beau Rivage, which is an MGM resort. So guys, what I want to tell you about is how do you go to Vegas for cheap? Full disclosure, I say this in every one of these videos. If you have a gambling problem or you think you have a gambling problem, please see the description box that I have the gambling hotline listed. Do not be fearful to reach out for help. This is something that some people have an issue with, and that's okay, but you do need to reach out for help if you feel you have a gambling problem. Gambling can be fun, but always remember to gamble within your entertainment budget and what that allows for you as an individual. Okay? All right, so let's talk cheap trip to Vegas. I live in Mississippi. And I'm going to tell you, flying out of the Jackson Medgar Evers Airport is so expensive most of the time that we usually book flights from Memphis to wherever we're going or from New Orleans to wherever we're going. Each is about a 3-hour drive for us, or so, about a 2.5 to 3-hour drive. So obviously, depending on where you live, by, whatever airport you live at, make sure you look around, okay? Parking at these airports for a few days, I always try to find like Easy Park or one of the cheaper parking places. I'll put that in the description box so you can see that as well. But where it's cheaper to park instead of parking at the airport. So
Okay, full disclosure here. I looked up Fast Park and Relax, which is what we used to use at the Memphis airport, and their price has gone up. Now it's actually cheaper. See that $37.72 plus a $4.95 reservation fee? Yeah. So now it's actually cheaper to park in the short-term parking lot of the airport for $9 a day, which would give us $36 for parking instead of what we have going on here. So yeah.
that saves me quite a few dollars. Usually it'll cost me about $30 to $35 for a 3 to 4 day trip at the Easy Park place. So jot that down, and hopefully you and your spouse or significant other, whoever's going with you on this really cheap trip for 2 to Las Vegas, is in the same car with you. Okay, so gas and parking the car, we're going to just say about $100, maybe $75, because and that also depends on what kind of car you have and the gas mileage and that kind of thing. But we're not going to rent a car this time when we go to Vegas.
Well, we changed our minds again, y'all. So we're going to keep rolling with the video as if we didn't do this. So you can see you can take a trip to Vegas for under $400 for 2 people. But we did decide, since we're only there for a few days, we want to go eat at the famous Ellis Island and get the steak and eggs cheap, like $10 breakfast that we love so much. It's a cute little casino too. And we realized we had free parking at all the other MGM casinos, and we want to go play at some of those and see if we can get better rewards for our future, like maybe our New Year's Eve stay. Anyways, this was $88 for 4 days in a sedan with Ace rental cars, all rental car companies at the Las Vegas airport. You have to ride a little shuttle bus over to the rental car company to get it. But for the sake of under $400, we'll keep rolling with what we have.
So there is that. But we don't plan on traveling off strip So we don't really plan on Ubering or anything like that. We will have to take an Uber from the airport or a taxi from the airport to the Luxor where we're staying. But that we've looked at is going to be usually about $15 to $18 each way. So we're going to say $30 for that. All right. So we're up to about $100 when you're talking about parking at the airport that you're traveling to. Now, if your airport's super close and you can find cheap travel at that airport, have someone drop you off and pick you up. And then you can save that gas money and that parking fee. But for us, that's going to be about $100, and we're including the Uber or taxi each way to Luxor from the airport and then back to the airport from Luxor. Okay. We like to walk a lot in Vegas. So, I mean, there may be additional expense for you if you want to go to other places, but there are some little free trams and stuff that goes around the city some. But like we plan on walking over to Mandalay Bay, which is connected with inside shops from Luxor, and then walking over to Excalibur and doing things like that. And if we do go further upstrip, we'll probably just walk. We've done lots of research and seen lots of YouTube videos on the best way to get to different places by walking. Part of the fun and why we enjoy traveling together is we like to do it together. So just walking and talking for us is really enjoyable. So we said we're up to about $100. My husband and I will link in the description box these certain bags that we use, and I will insert a clip as well.
Okay, so these are the bags that we use. Mine is green. He does have a black one, and I'll show you his as well. His is just a tad bit different, but the things that we love about these bags are, and we get them off Amazon, there's a wet bag compartment, so, you know, most of it, if something leaks, it's going to be fine. There's a place you can slide a laptop. It's very breathable. It's very comfortable to wear through the airport. It slides easy over the luggage, and also it looks really good on your person. It does have like a power bank connector on the side where you can put in a charger. So right here, they've rolled their clothes. I would say that's the best way to pack in a bag, that if you're trying to avoid bag fees. You can also use packing cubes like we have as well, that are compressible. Okay, so right here, pay attention to this. The lighter colors are cheaper. The darker colors are more expensive. Think about where you're going. You're going on a plane and it's dirty. You probably don't want the lighter colors if you can help it. That's why I chose to do the teal color. But if you want to go a little bit cheaper and get a lighter color, they are going to make you put it on the floor unless you get lucky, and you can put it in an overhead compartment if there's enough room. I know they really don't like you to do that unless it's a carry-on, but sometimes you can get away with this. Anyways, make sure you get the large size. So this is another picture. Ignore the one on the left, but the one on the right is practically the same bag for about $22. A little bit cheaper than Amazon. This one was on Temu. So if you want to look on Temu, I'll put a link in the description box for the Temu bag too. Those are the packing cubes from Amazon that we use sometimes. And they actually sent me those free from Amazon with my bag. I think it may have been a mistake, but I do love the packing cubes, but usually I'll roll my clothes.
But my husband and I both have one. They are small enough to be personal items on airlines like Spirit Airlines and Frontier Airlines. Currently, these airlines don't charge for a personal item. So you can take this bag. We have different methods. I'll show you some of the packing cubes and things that we use, but you can take these bags. They have several compartments, and we can fit everything we need for about 3 to 4 days of clothes and travel in these bags, and we each take one, and that's our personal item. So we eliminate the bag fees by doing that. Okay. That is one of the biggest hacks to traveling cheap if you're flying. Okay. So we're going to be flying out of Memphis, right? For the days that we have booked, it's going to take lots of planning. But for the days that we have booked, okay, leaving on a Saturday, coming back on a Tuesday. So we're talking about 3 nights here, okay? The plane tickets for 2 people round trip, and I will show you, about $200 for 2 people round trip. So about $100 a piece, okay? Like, unheard of. You can't beat that. It's a nonstop flight, okay? And I know people give these horror stories about Spirit Airlines and Frontier Airlines and how, you know, your plane gets delayed or whatever. We've done other trips where the plane was delayed, okay, with Delta or Southwest. It just happens sometimes, okay? I don't feel like it happens more frequently with Spirit or Frontier, but I've flown so many times with Spirit, and I mean, almost every trip we take, and I feel like it is a good value airline. I mean, you cannot beat it for the price that we're paying for this trip, okay? So we've got the 2 plane tickets, we've got our parking, we've got our gas, we've got our Uber. So let's talk about the stay. So we're going to be staying at the Luxor, right? And the Luxor is one of the lower grade resorts at MGM. I mean, for an MGM property in Vegas. But if you watch lots of videos on like, is Luxor nice? They just did room renovations like a year or so ago. And everyone says it's super nice. They have a lot of new additions in Luxor, and we will definitely be doing a Luxor review when we go in May. But make sure to check out that video. But look at the other videos online too. That's what we do before we decide where we're going to stay. It was between Luxor or Mandalay Bay, and Luxor just gave us better offers through MGM than the Mandalay Bay MGM Resort did. Okay. So for Luxor, we had 3 nights comped. We had $100 in resort credit and $50 in free play, as well as the daily resort fees were also comped as well. So literally no tax, no resort fees. And this is just from a little bit of play over the course of a few months at another MGM property. Now, if you don't have a comp or whatever, obviously you're going to have to spend a little bit of money on your stay. But what I would recommend is still looking at different dates that align with your plane tickets. You want to look at your dates first, and then go look at the flights and give you like options A, B, and C, and see which ones you want to do. Okay, which one you want to do for cheap. So stay completely free, plus $100 resort credit, which we usually end up eating at the resort we stay at. So for 2 people, we plan on going to Diablo's, and we plan on we usually drink water. Sometimes we'll drink, alcohol beverages, but those are free when you play. So if you plan on drinking some, just play some, so it kind of balances itself out. So $200 for the plane tickets for 2 people, plus about $100 for the parking, the gas, and which some of you may not even get that. And then the back and forth from the airport to Luxor, Luxor back to the airport, you're at about $300 then, okay, for everything. And then, well, Melody, you said this was going to include food too. Okay. You get $100 resort credit with this comp, okay? And that's like minimum, okay? And that's going to go towards our food, as well as we play in the My Vegas app, which is an MGM Rewards app. It's completely free. We both play, and like he has a $20 food credit to Diablo's, and I'm going to do a couple other food credits at some of the other resorts that we're staying around. Plus we have the $100 resort credit, and we're only going to be there for Sunday and Monday at the resorts. Saturday's a travel day, which we'll pack food and do that kind of stuff. You can bring food on a plane as well. You can watch a video about that. And then also we'll be traveling back starting early in the morning on Tuesday morning. So we've only got 2 days. I mean, technically that's 6 meals, right? Well, Melody, how are you going to do? Well, we have a $100 food credit. Plus, that leaves us about $100 because I said $400 for 2 people, right? Around $400 for 2 people. So another $100 added to our $100 food credit. And we're talking about getting water and things like that. We're not talking about like going all out. Plus the little My Vegas rewards things. Plus, we'll have $50 free play to spend in the casino. Well, my friends, that means we just took a trip to Vegas for under $400 for 2 people, round trip. I mean, everything. Now, I did not include your entertainment budget and what it consists of as far as gambling or sightseeing or those kinds of things. But there are lots of things to do in Vegas that are completely free, and there's tons of videos on that. But like watching the Bellagio fountains or going to see the Bellagio Conservatory, which is also an MGM property, or just sightseeing as far as those resorts are incredible, like some of the decorations and things that they have in there. The pool, we're going in the summertime when it's going to be warmer, and the pool is, you can just relax by the pool for hours if you want to. So it's just a great way to get away that costs you less than about $400 for 2 people. That is incredible. That's flying clear across the country. If you guys want to know more about how to travel cheap, I've got you, okay? And I will be happy to give you any clarification or tips and tricks you might need. Number one thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to plan. You're going to have to be a planner for this, okay? And if you need tips and tricks on how to be a planner, comment below and I'll help you with that as well. Okay, I hope you guys, if you stayed for this long, I appreciate you. And look, go travel cheaply. Okay, go see the sights and travel cheaply. If you can do it, be a planner and do it. Make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, share it with somebody you want to go to Vegas for cheap with. Okay, and also subscribe to the channel because we'll be doing plenty more videos like this and you don't want to miss us when we're in Vegas. Guys, I love you and thank you so much for watching.